Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? My name is James. Again, I come here just to discuss a few things. We had a long week. We saw what happened in Kenya. We saw the protests and stuff like that. But now, as a society, we must be dynamic. We do not have to stop there. There are a few things that we have to look at and say, what is really making Africa as a whole not to be able to develop? One of the things that we have to look at is how do we treat our people? Because people do not have food, they don't have shelter, they don't have medicine, they don't have school fees for their children. So have we misplaced our priorities? The answer is yes. Let me talk about Gen Z, Generation Alpha, and as a matter of fact, as I'm talking to you right now, the cameraman is a Generation Alpha. He's one of my sons, Jimmy, and his brother David, who is also a Generation Alpha, is watching. My point is, the MPs salary is what I want us to focus on right now. Everybody who is employed knows that if you do not deliver, you must be reviewed on to how much are you getting paid. Are we paying our MPs a lot? I have to read something here. That after years of pay stagnant, a certain state in the US is reviewing the pay of their representatives, equivalent to members of parliament. Do you know that this state has been paying their representative $24,000, almost $24,000 a year? That goes to 200,000 Kenya shillings every month. The question is, how many MPs can survive on 200,000 Kenya shillings a month, which is a lot of money? The thing is, if we really want to change our country and if we want to change our continent, we must make sure that people like nurses, people like teachers, and people like doctors are paid better than these members of parliament. Somebody might think that I'm crazy. I am not crazy. There are other economies, actually other economies that are doing better than any economy in Africa that follow that model. The salary of a nurse should be able to pay 3 MPs. I repeat myself. The salary of a nurse should be able to pay 3 MPs. The salary of a doctor should be able to pay 10 MPs. And probably the salary of a teacher should also be able to pay these MPs. If we mean change, if we are not lying to people, if we mean that we want to change our country, it's not going to be changed by corrupt CDF money. It's not going to be paid by corrupt bursary money. It will be changed by us looking deep into our hearts and talking about these things. I saw one member of parliament who I really admire, Aaron Cheriot, trying to state that he bought a pair of shoes for $100. That is also too expensive. How can a public servant afford a pair of shoes worth $100? We got to talk about these things. We must realize that an MP, I agree, has a lot of work. But some of the works that they do is not supposed to be giving money in fundraisings. So I propose that no MP should be paid less than 150,000 Kenya shillings and more than 200,000 Kenya shillings. You know what that will do? That will attract people who have an interest in heart to serve their country. And there are so many people who will be willing to do that. But right now, the kind of money they get paid, they are just attracting criminals. And another thing we must do, which I'll do a video about it, we must stop calling members of parliament Mheshimiwa or honorable. There's nothing honorable about them. They are just leaders. We can refer to them as member of parliament of Kabete constituency, member of parliament of Kikuyu constituency, or member of parliament of Kapsaret, or member of parliament of Suba constituency, or member of parliament of whichever constituency you want to think, be it Madeira, be it Kisumu East, be it Nakuru East. That's what we want to do. Because we must change our nation, and our children are watching and they can calculate these things, and these things are not adding up. So we must start changing those things. So the next protest should be reduce the MPs' salary. Of course, it should be a peaceful protest. And if we start this revolution from Kenya, it's going to spread across Africa. And in 20 years, these members of parliament will look back and they will be proud of themselves. We cannot make them our enemies, but we must change the way they are thinking. Thank you so much. Visit my YouTube channel, James4 Courage.